I had a series of topics I wish to discuss tonight on the channel. I realized that I am actually getting maybe a few views on each video, so I thought, what the maybe I'll put up some kind of live stream and see if anyone actually watches it, perhaps later on. Yeah, so anyway, what the heck? Yeah, I would just kind of firstly like to say, and most importantly, like, say something. The person that I am today is not, mentally speaking or value-wise, in terms of the way I would make my decisions and the sort of actions I would do today are completely different. Well, most part, a lot different than the way I would have behaved 5 years ago. And the way I was 5 years ago was completely different from the way I was 10 years ago. The way I was 20 years ago is completely different from the way I am now. So every few years, you accumulate a series of experiences, friends, and lessons, I suppose. So, I mean, as you progress through life, it changes you, right? I mean, overall, you worry less about some shit, and I guess you worry more about other stuff, and you learn to enjoy things that you didn't before. Like, for example, okay, so I will first off say that I am a human test subject. At an early age, I convinced a businessman to invest in a product I had in mind. He prototyped it. Yeah, he paid the professor to make this for us. And basically this product was like a license to print money. I mean, because the way things are in Canada, the States, only one person can make a branded product. Like, there's only one Sony company that you can buy from. Nobody else can call themselves Sony unless they're counterfeit, right? So if you come up with some weird product and if you're the only one who can make it, then you can charge whatever you like, if the market will accept that, right? So anyway, yeah, that's why my buddies came to me and they said, oh yeah, product's very popular, we made some money, we'd like to give you some cash. And I was like, well, I don't really need it, why don't you keep it? So anyway, well, where is it again? Oh yeah. I also expressed to this guy, I said, hey man, since I made so much money and since the world gave me so much, I think I should do something in return by becoming a human test subject, right? I thought yeah, I thought that would be a good idea at the time. So the point I'm getting to is, I've got this thing in my head called a brain interface. Yeah, what it does is it wirelessly connects your brain to the internet so that you can use things like artificially enhanced thinking. Your eyes can function as cameras and your ears are basically microphones, and there's a few things. There's like, they didn't give me many apps, to be honest. Like, this thing is capable of way more than they're actually letting me use, I'm sure of that. But I've had it in my skull for some time now, and there are times when I wish I could just turn the damn thing off or have it removed. But yeah, overall, do I think it's a good thing? I'm divided on that, man. I kind of missed having my brain be my own sanctuary where I'm not like having to deal with people, or I miss, yeah, I miss having the privacy of my own thoughts to myself, honestly, because a lot of the things I think are pretty nonsensical or pretty foolish, disturbing. I put a lot of garbage into my head, I guess, and I spent a lot of time doing the same things over and over without always getting better at them. But yeah, so the person I was 5 years ago definitely isn't the person I am now. And I can say this unequivocally because I met some pretty crazy people over the last few years. Like I've always been somewhat attention grabbing when I go out in public. Like I kind of act like a fish out of water, like I'm not from this earth or something. Okay, so oh well, they left already. The point of the matter is, on the internet, I sometimes have on the internet I sometimes can attract some attention. I've gone on the internet and sometimes said the kind of things that nobody else says on the internet, and that, I suppose, causes drama or may attract attention. Heck, I've given people ideas for products on the internet. They used my ideas for products and made something out of it. Good for them. I've got an idea for a product right now, by the way, guys. And if you know anyone who's an engineer and who has some experience with plumbing, I think he can make this happen. So what this idea is basically like a large, I guess you could make it metal, ceramic, make it out of something slippery anyway, because what you need is a large basin type of thing with a pressure switch under it to create what I call the dog toilet. Now, if you had a large basin or ceramic bowl or something for the dog to walk into, do its business, and then when it steps off, the pressure switch triggers a flush mechanism, you'd need water jets, obviously around the edges, the same way as a human toilet, and of course your water tank above the whole thing. I think it would probably use a decent amount of water, I think, because this thing would have to be pretty big for the dog to just walk in.